Alright guys, so let's go ahead and move on to add some more details on the bottom of our shoe, because right now it just look a little too flat, right? So for our boots, a lot of boots, you could see that there's some ridges here, which we really need to add. It cannot be a boot without the ridges, you know? And if you look at my model here, it looks like I still have my shoe attached to the body, which is not good because I'm going to need to remesh this shoe. And then if I remesh it with the body attached, then it will be fused together, which is the last thing that we need. We don't want that. So I'm going to go hit the tab key and I'm going to go to my polygon select, hover my mouse over here, press L, press P, and separate by selection. Alright, so now I have this as a separate piece as needed. Now we can go ahead and isolate our shoe, Shift H. And if you recall, the bottom of the boots look like this, right? So we got this going, this design. I'm not gonna make it look exactly like this. Like I said, this have to be ultra detailed, and unless you know you're gonna show it up close, like the bottom of the shoe, which I know in most games they do not show it. So I think the main thing that we're concerned about is going to be the side of the boot. All right. So right here, you can see the Timberland boots. Can't go without these details on the side. It's the main concern. And to be able to do that, we need to kind of add a little bit of what's underneath. Alright, so we can go ahead and go to scope mode. And the first thing that I really want to do though is to add this shape right here. Okay, you see how there's a part of the shoe that's kind of pushed in there. So that's the first thing that I'm going to be doing. And then the ridges. I'm going to go to my side view. I'm going to go to my lasso mask. And then I'm going to go ahead and just mask out this area here. Just yep, like this. Okay. And if we go Control 7 on our numpad and look from the bottom view, definitely need some fixing here. All right, so definitely gotta straighten this out. I'm gonna go ahead and mask out this here. Go Control, unmask this area. So I don't want it to be slanted. Gonna want to straighten that out. Same here. And here. And I'm gonna go look at the bottom view again. Still a little slanted, so I'm gonna go and mask this part. Maybe slightly mask this area. Slightly mask this area. Unmask this. So really just straightening this out. Just kind of eyeballing things. And going this view. Okay. So I kind of want it to be consistent on both sides. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of move this a little bit here. Go. Alright. I think this is good enough. So I'm gonna go and Control I to invert this. Oop, looks like there's a little bit of mask I need to do here. Mask that area out. There you go. Mask this area out. So we don't want faded color. We want to completely mask out the areas that we don't want to manipulate. I also like to use the lasso tool sometimes to just kind of make sure everything is completely masked off and the stuff that I don't want to manipulate. Alright, now I'm going to go to the side view. I'm going to go to the move brush here and set pivot to mask border. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of move it up slightly. Yeah, and I'm going to go to rotate and just kind of slowly rotate it this way. And back onto the move. Lift it up slightly like this. Alright. And pull it up a bit more. Alright. You see from afar. I think I might have exaggerated a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and move this down. Here you go. Yeah, I think it should be good. Alt M to unmask. Okay, and every time we make a deep extrusion like that, extrude it out or extrude it in, you gotta make sure that we increase the amount of polygons before we remesh it. I'm gonna set it to 0.03 and remesh this so we got more polygons to work with. There you go. And I think I'm gonna go even lower, 0.025. And just remesh that. There you go. Now, I'm going to go to my clay strips and go ahead and work on this. Add some clay on top. I'm going to go to my draw. Puff this out slightly. And I'm going to go to my scrape brush. Kind of flatten that out. Got a nice hard edge going. And do the same for this. Using my clay strip brush to just lay some clay on top. Make it a little seamless. And I'm going to go to my draw brush. Just kind of bulk it up slightly. So it's not, doesn't really look pushed in. Once we refine this and retopologize this, it's going to look a lot better and a lot more defined. And I'm going to go to my scrape brush and then just kind of flatten this area out like this. And flatten this area out, flatten that area out. I'm going to go to my clay strip brush and just add some details here. And I'm going to go ahead and scrape this area out. Yeah, right now you can see there's like a little bit of lumpiness going on, right? A little bit of lumpiness, like some clay was pushed in. And to deal with that, just go and add some clay strip brush and use your regular draw brush, kind of bulk things out. So those areas could be pushed in, that's why it looks like lumpy. And once you do that, you can go back to your scrape brush and then just kind of flatten it out. Once we have more resolution, we're going to further fix the lumpiness that we see. All right, you can see also some lumpiness here. You can add like a little bit of volume here. All right, a little bit of volume there. Then using the draw brush, a little volume. And then you could go to the scrape brush and just kind of flatten things out. Okay, so that's looking better. Even for this part here. And I think here, okay, you're gonna go to my clay and then gonna push this in. So, all right. So, got a good start there. Next thing we need to do is going to be the ridges. So we're going to add a bit of details here, which will also show up on this side of the bottom of our boots. Now let's go ahead and do the bottom part. So as far as the bottom part, first thing we got to do is let's go ahead and mask out our entire shoe. Control 7, go to bottom view, and let's go to mask paint. And we're going to think about the areas that we want to extrude in. So I know I want to have some ridges here all around. And maybe I could protrude out a detail here. So knowing that, we could go use our mask paint. Make sure you have symmetry turned on. And I'm gonna go ahead and hold control as I unmask out this area that we want to protrude in. So this is the area that I'm gonna protrude in. Alright. And then also around this area is gonna be protruded in. Okay. Yep. And gonna unmask this area, unmask this area. Sometimes it's good to look in different views, just so you could see what more you could do with it as far as the shape of it. Alright, now I'm gonna go and start doing the ridges area. Holding control, gonna go and draw this out, draw this area out like that. Maybe here and then here. Okay. And maybe same for here. I'm gonna add this and this. And then I'm going to wanna extrude out this area also, and this area. And I think I'm gonna turn on stroke, stabilize stroke, stabilize the drawing a bit so we can draw straighter lines. And also maybe I could straighten it out slightly like this. I think that'll look better. Okay. And then here I could just kinda do this. That. Okay, and then I'm gonna cut another one here and another one here. I probably could fix this area out. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my stabilize stroke and just unmask this part out. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn on stabilize stroke again. Bring down my brush size. And holding control. There you go. And maybe I could add here and here and here. Okay, and I'm gonna do this side. I'm gonna go add one here and here. And I'm gonna add, maybe I could add two more. So add one right there, and like this, and like this. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my stabilize stroke. And I'm gonna mask out the areas. It went all the way up. So the parts here that are unmasked, we're gonna push that in, so that will create the ridges for us. And I want this to be consistent in length and size, consistent. Want it to be consistent. Ooh. So it went up too high. So yeah, I'm gonna go hold control. unmask this out. And yeah, it's also good to make sure you are still looking at the side view of your boots. See how thick you want the ridges to be. What makes our life easier is we have symmetry turn on. So definitely just doing it on both sides. And also here, 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 here. And you can see that they're kind of spaced out differently on some areas, which I think gives it a bit more variety to the shape. So I don't want it to be 100% evenly spaced out like that. Alright, and looking all around. Maybe in this area I don't need to have it protrude out around this area, so I'm gonna mask that. And I'm also gonna just go to my lasso mask, make sure I mask out the areas that I know I don't want to mask this out completely. Make sure I didn't miss any spot. Oh, looks like when I was doing that, it was doing it on the front side, which is not a good thing. Let me look all around before I do a protrusion here. Looking all around. And if you look from afar, you also want to see how it looks like from afar, because our character is going to be shown from afar rather than up close. So what matters the most is, like, the shoe is going to be shown from afar. So you want it to look good from afar, right? So if you want to exaggerate on the ridges, then if that's what's going to look good on from far away, then that's what you need to do, which is what I'm kind of doing right now. Just kind of emphasizing it a bit more. It's very important that it shows from afar. Otherwise, what's the point of adding this, right? Okay. Alright, now I'm going to move brushed. Gonna go to set pivot to mask border. And I'm just gonna go to my side view as I am doing this. And I'm gonna go use my move brush to just kind of pull it up. Once again, looking at it from afar, see how it looks. Okay, so I think that will look good. Alt M. Alright, so since we did a pretty prominent extrusion, what we have to do now is we need to go to our remesh here and set this to a lower value so we have more polygons to work with. I set to 0.01, and I'm going to go ahead and remesh that. Cool. And could also go and kind of smooth this out. We can go to our smoothing. I'm going to bring down my intensity for my smoothing. And yeah, just kind of smooth out the areas here. Smooth out the areas here on the side, which is the most important part. Once we refine this later with topology and adding more definition here, it's going to look a lot nicer. Alright, once again, not too concerned about the bottom. And looking here on the side, I can go to my draw sharp and turn on my stab-like stroke. And I'm going to add a little detail like this going around. I'm going to bring down my intensity for that. There's a little extra detail. Go a long way. And coming around here. And also here. All around. Like that. There you go. So that's going to be enhanced more later, but it's good to have it there as a guide so that we could, whenever we topologize, we know the path, how it's going to be, how it's going to work out. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm on my draw brush right now. I'm going to go ahead and go through some areas that look a little lumpy and just add more shape to it. Smooth it. Alright, so that is definitely looking good for the boots. In the next video, we are going to further add more shape to the boots here. And yeah, let me go ahead and stop this video and I'll see you then.